For battery and domestic violence. Switching this one on about.
According to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, Davis was taken into custody after an impromptu hearing and will now finish his 3-month sentence in jail. WJZ is working to confirm why his sentencing.
It was yet another setback for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, as he suddenly collapsed in court following a fresh punishment for another violation. A court in Baltimore hosted the boxing champion and charged him on 2 separate counts. The first charge was related to his hit-and-run incident from a few years ago. Surprisingly, Davis had been careless with his punishment, bringing him dangerously close to being sentenced once again.
Gervonta Davis, Mr. That's it, we finally got you up here.
Yes, Judge, thank you very much.
No problem.
However, it was his collapse in court that led the judge to reconsider. Along with his old case, Gervonta "Tank," Davis also had to deal with bribery allegations after a leaked recording surfaced, capturing a conversation between him and referee Steve Willis during his last fight. While several arguments arose, there was evidence suggesting something suspicious had occurred between them. However, Davis's lawyers argued that the New York State Athletic Commission had already dismissed the case, making it null and void. Despite this, the fallout from the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight continues. Davis put his WBA lightweight title on the line at the Barclays Center in New York on March 1st, in a fight many fans expected to be a routine defense for him. However, the fight didn't go as planned, with Roach finding plenty of success throughout the contest. The most controversial moment came in the 9th round when Davis voluntarily took a knee and retreated to his corner. Despite initially beginning a count, the referee stopped and chose not to rule it as a knockdown. Davis later claimed it was due to grease getting into his eye. The fight ended in a majority decision draw, with the judges scoring it 115-113 for Davis and 114-114 twice. Had the 9th round been scored 10-8 in Roach's favor, he would have been crowned the new WBA champion.
What Tank did that when he took the knee? What do you think when he took the knee?
I can't.
Can't think on that? He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak.
No personal opinion, nothing?
Can't. Especially.
It has now been revealed what Roach said to the referee during that controversial moment, making it clear what he believed should have happened. Keep counting, Roach demanded. He later explained what was going through his mind at the time. The referee started counting, but then I saw Davis get up and walk to a corner. Now I'm confused. I was focused on the referee counting, and when I looked at Davis in the corner, I was like, what is going on? I wanted it to be a knockdown, because it should have been. I asked the referee, why did you stop counting? Roach's team filed an official appeal over the verdict, but the New York State Athletic Commission ruled that the result would stand. However, Lamont Roach Jr.'s confidence is at an all-time high. You'd think that after the commission denied his appeal to overturn the controversial draw in his March 1st bout against Gervonta "Tank" Davis, he'd quiet down, but nope. He's still calling out Tank every chance he gets. The frustration is understandable, but at this point, both sides want the rematch. So just sign the contract and settle it in the ring, right? Well, it looks like there's still some trash talk that needs to be handled before that happens.
Davis.
And, Your Honor, Mr. Hassan and I, assuming the court finds probable cause, we have an agreement.
Good morning, Judge Kenneth Hassan.
And it's not just about the fight anymore. A few days ago, Lamont Roach Jr. got into an online argument with fellow boxer Lorenzo Simpson, who backed Gervonta "Tank" Davis and claimed Tank would put Roach to sleep in a rematch. Instead of keeping it cool, Roach decided to flex his pockets, throwing down a $250K bet and saying, Yay, 250K, just like I bet your role model. If you can show it to me, we good money, little guy. He's clearly brimming with confidence, but now he's taking it a step further. Just a few hours ago, Roach casually threatened Davis in an Instagram post. Ring magazine even highlighted his latest post, adding more fuel to the fire.
Off of niggas and not wishing it. Not playing. Like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas is crazy. So we elsewhere with that shit.
Lamont Roach Jr. hinted at a rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis in an Instagram post today. The 25-1 boxer captioned his post. I showed that I was a pound-for-pound talent against a generational star in the sport. I was born a star, but on March 1st, a star was finally under the microscope of the world. I can't wait to run it back and put on a show again. Now, why does Lamont Roach Jr. believe he's a pound-for-pound talent? Well, for starters, everyone saw that controversial ninth-round moment when Gervonta Davis took a knee. Tank insists it wasn't from a punch, but a mix of hair grease and sweat that temporarily blinded him, forcing him to kneel. Some people bought that excuse, but plenty gave Roach his flowers for what many saw as a legitimate knockdown.
Just off the top, man, I was, a little disappointed. Just for the sake of boxing itself, and obviously my result for the fight. I think.
But is that one moment enough for Roach to believe he's better than Davis? Probably not. Another reason his confidence is sky high could be Ring Magazine's latest pound-for-pound rankings. Devin Haney took Davis's spot, and ESPN now has Roach sitting at number 6 in the 135 lb division. That kind of recognition can definitely boost a fighter's ego. Now, as for Gervonta Davis, what's he doing about all this? Well, yes and no. After initially saying he wanted the rematch by the end of May, he's gone radio silent. And that's unusual for Tank. He's usually quick with the trash talk. But this time, the 30-year-old has been keeping quiet. And when a fighter like him goes silent, it usually means he's cooking up something big.
The key that they pointed out the things that were actually done wrong, and there's still no movement to overturn the fight. Just really saddened me a little bit. But I wasn't too hungry.
If this rematch happens, and Roach's promoter Gary Jonas insists it might finally deliver the fireworks fans expected the first time around. But the real question is Tank plotting a stronger comeback, or is he eyeing the exit door? Gervonta Davis has already hinted that he has only 3 or 4 fights left before retiring. And let's be real, if he's closing in on the end of his career, he's going to chase the biggest payday possible. Now think about it. Does a rematch with a relatively unknown name like Lamont Roach Jr. bring in the kind of money he's looking for? Or would he cash in way more by securing fights with bigger names like Shakur Stevenson?
The decision of the New York State Athletic Commission, I kind of accepted my fate just a little bit. I had a lot of hope though. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of hope, but...
Funny enough, Tank originally dismissed the New York native, saying he hadn't done enough for the sport of boxing. But in a recent sit-down with NBA analyst Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, he suddenly seemed open to the idea. A rematch. With Ryan Garcia would also be a massive payday, but it's not happening anytime soon. Garcia first has to get past Rolando Raleigh Romero on May 2nd, and if he wins, he's got Devin Haney waiting for him, assuming Haney beats Jose Carlos Ramirez that same night. So Tank versus Garcia 2 sas. It's a possibility, but it's going to take time. Time that Tank may not have to spare, as Roach has been in his face at every turn, even while Davis was dealing with his court case.
My view that I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing.
A Baltimore judge spared WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis from jail time on Wednesday after he admitted to violating his probation for a hit and run that injured 4 people, including a pregnant woman. Circuit Judge Aaliyah M. Handy instead extended Davis's probation for 18 months and ordered him to make a $1,000 donation to the Community Assistance Network. Davis, 30, now residing in Parkland, Florida, admitted to leaving the state without approval. His probation agent in Maryland happened to spot him dining at Proper Cuisine on East Redwood Street near South Calvert Street in downtown Baltimore. On January 22nd, less than half a mile from the Clarence M. Mitchell and Elijah E. Cummings courthouses. Judge Handy noted that Davis's probation agent in Florida had been generous, approving travel passes for him to visit the U.S. Virgin Islands twice.
We elsewhere with that shit. And niggas dick eating like they start, like, come on. When I start wearing chrome heavy and showing shit off, and that's when niggas start wearing.
Judge Handy also noted that she had granted Davis permission to attend the 2024 Paris Olympic Games to support and advise Team USA Boxing. However, she denied his request to travel to Japan for his 30th birthday. At the same time, Handy questioned what sentencing him to additional jail time would accomplish. "I don't like sending anyone to jail, sir. I really don't," she said. "But you need to wake up, please." She later added, "I don't ever want to see you in court again." Baltimore's boxing champion, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, was originally sentenced to 90 days of home detention for the 2020 hit and run.
The home detention, people, I listened to everybody to the T. She's mad that I bought a property, that's why I'm sitting in jail.
Baltimore boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis pleaded guilty in a hit-and-run case, marking the latest chapter in his ongoing legal saga. The boxer, who grew up in West Baltimore and holds a record of 30-1, recently retained his title after fighting Lamont Roach Jr. to a majority draw. Davis pleaded guilty in 2023 in Baltimore Circuit Court to 4 traffic offenses related to the incident. The crash occurred around 2 a.m. on November 5, 2020, when he ran a red light at the intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Washington Boulevard. His 2020 Lamborghini Urus struck a 2004 Toyota Solara before crashing into the fence of a 7-Eleven.
I shouldn't have. She wanted me to be in an apartment, a one-bed apartment.
Judge Handy sentenced Gervonta "Tank" Davis to 90 days of home detention, along with 3 years of probation, stating that he had shown a consistent pattern of disobeying the law. He was originally supposed to serve his home detention at the residence of his longtime coach and trainer, Calvin Ford. However, Handy later revoked Davis's home detention after discovering that he had been staying at a Four Seasons hotel and a $3.4 million penthouse condo in Locust Point instead. In a now-deleted Instagram Live, Davis called Handy crazy and claimed, "She locked me up because basically I bought a property."
You know what I mean? And I couldn't, you know what I mean, take that. You know what I mean? She wanted me to stay in a one-bed apartment and have my kids and nothing come with me, things like that. I just want to spread light on this situation.
Davis ended up spending more than 6 weeks in jail. During Wednesday's hearing, both of his probation agents recommended additional jail time. His Maryland probation agent, Kia Yancey, stated that she often had to reach out to members of Davis's team or his attorney just to get in touch with him. Judge Handy expressed her frustration, saying, "He's a grown man. I don't understand." Assistant State's Attorney David Owens, chief of the misdemeanor jury trial unit, mentioned that he had spoken with Baltimore State's Attorney Ivan Bates about the case and proposed a $5,000 fine.
Court finds probable cause.
Your Honor, we agreed to a $1,000 bond, no victim contact if that's acceptable for the court.
Okay.
Is there a reason you spoke to State's Attorney Bates about this matter? Judge Handy asked. Owens replied that Bates had assigned him to the case, and as a result, he was requesting a $25,000 fine. Period? Handy inquired. Yes, Owens responded. Davis's attorney, Hunter Pruitt, then urged the judge to spare his client from additional jail time. He argued that Davis had completed all the special requirements of his probation and had given back to the community in multiple ways.
No bond, no contact. Have a good day.
Happy holidays, Judge. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's a regrettable decision, Pruitt said. It wasn't under the guise of doing something illegal. He added that Davis had been training. Davis apologized for his actions and reiterated that he had been training, but Judge Handy pushed back, pointing out that his Maryland probation agent had spotted him at a restaurant with a group of people. "You weren't training," she said. You were out celebrating. Davis clarified that he had been training in Washington, D.C., but had gone to Baltimore for dinner. After 2 separate discussions at the bench, Handy handed down the sentence.
And I'm selling all my shit too.
Judge Handy stated that the only reason she would want to see Davis back in her courtroom is if he went to law school and became an attorney. Meanwhile, Gervonta Tank Davis' tendency for slow starts nearly cost him on Saturday night. His WBA lightweight title defense against Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw, leaving a sold-out crowd of 19,250 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Stunned, Davis retained his title, but it was a fight he would likely prefer to forget. Two judges scored the fight 114-114, while the third judge had it 115-113 in Davis's favor. ESPN also scored the bout 114-114. Lamont is a great fighter, Davis said after the fight. He's got skills, like I said before. He's got punching power. It was a lesson, hopefully, we can run it back. In a bizarre moment that could have changed the outcome of the fight, Davis inexplicably took a knee in the 9th round after being touched by a jab. However, referee Steve Willis chose not to count it as a knockdown for Roach. Davis later claimed that grease from his hair had gotten into his eye, forcing him to take a knee. The fight resumed without a penalty, but had the knockdown been counted, it could have swung the decision in Roach's favor.
Alive, but I went back and I watched it, and shit, Tank lost that fight, period. And that's even without the knockdown, he lost.
Had the knockdown been called, Roach could have won the 9th round with a 10-8 score. Instead, the judges scored it 10-9 in favor of Davis. I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my hair, Davis explained. When I was sweating and things like that, it burned my eyes. Roach didn't dispute Davis's explanation, but firmly stated that the rules are the rules, and he should have been awarded a knockdown. If you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown, Roach said. If that's a knockdown, I win the fight. I'm not banking on that knockdown to win, but I just thought I pulled it out.
The fight. Yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that Roach's game plan was man.
Davis entered the fight as a heavy favorite, with many expecting him to secure his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Fighting in front of a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was unable to deliver. The highlight reel finish fans have come to expect from the Baltimore native. Instead, Roach stood his ground, absorbed Davis's power shots, and fired back with punches that not only stunned Davis, but also shocked the crowd. Known for his patient approach, Davis started slowly, waiting for Roach to make a mistake he could capitalize on. However, Roach remained composed, making it a far more competitive fight than most had anticipated. But Roach refused to give Davis the opening he needed to counter and dictate the pace. Davis initially smiled and exchanged words with Roach early in the fight, but he was forced to get serious once it became clear that his opponent wouldn't crumble under the bright lights. Roach Jr., 29, had previously faced Davis in the amateurs, but came up short.
I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, it is what it is type shit, I ain't hating on the decision.
Their careers took vastly different paths once they turned pro. Davis became one of boxing's biggest stars, while Roach carved out a reputation as a solid fighter. His only other world title shot ended in a loss to Jamel Herring for the WBO super featherweight belt in 2019. Davis's rise to superstardom was cemented with his knockout victory over Ryan Garcia in 2023, a fight that solidified his claim as the face of boxing. However, against Roach, He nearly let that status slip away with an underwhelming performance. Their shared history may have given Davis a false sense of security coming into the fight, but Roach was well prepared for everything Tank brought to the ring, including his devastating knockout power. By the middle rounds, Davis's trademark smirk had disappeared as he realized the knockout he anticipated wouldn't come easily. The champion began letting his hands go to create openings, but Roach stood firm, responding with counters and crisp combinations. Davis focused almost exclusively on body shots, hammering away as Roach stayed on the front foot, pressing forward without hesitation. Whenever Davis's attack momentarily slowed, Roach seized the opportunity to fire back with counters. In the 8th round, Roach stunned Davis with a sharp counter right hand. Though Davis was never in serious danger, the exchange served as a clear reminder that he couldn't afford to fight recklessly. I felt like I was breaking him down as the rounds went on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, Davis said. I kept it cautious. Realizing the fight could be slipping away, the 30-year-old Davis pressed the action in the championship rounds. Though he landed some big power shots, he never came close to seriously hurting Roach. However, his increased activity was enough to secure the final 2 rounds on all 3 scorecards, salvaging a draw and allowing him to leave New York with his title intact. Statistically, it was a calculated and measured fight. Davis landed 103 of 279 punches, an extremely economical approach, while Roach was the busier fighter, connecting on 112 of 400 punches.
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real. Both of them really did put in a fantastic performance. It was a great fight, you know? All that good stuff. All that good stuff. You know, it was a draw. At the end of the day, people aren't satisfied. You know, I feel like, I always keep it a buck.
That wraps up the post-fight reactions. And it's clear Roach isn't backing down. He truly believes he won and wants to prove it in a rematch. Meanwhile, Davis walks away with his title, but not without controversy. With all the back and forth, the tension is rising, and boxing fans are eager to see if they'll run it back. For the latest updates on all things boxing fights, drama, and big moments, stay locked in by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on top-tier content. Until next time, for more updates.